There we go.
There we go.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm Wayne Miller, board member.
Amy Rivera, board member.
Ted August, board member.
Thomas
Matthew?
Kowski, City of Philadelphia, License and Inspections.
I'm Matthew Wojcik, L&I supervisor.
Philip Motto, Boards Administration.
Okay. Anybody testifying in this case? Victor, please raise your, and Tom, please raise your right hand. Swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Please respond to me.
Yes.
Victor. Victor. Victor, you on the line? Victor. Evidently, Victor ain't on the line.
Well, or
Uh,
Mr. Gordon, we can't hear you.
Yeah, in a Zoom participants tab, it shows that there's no microphone next to his name. It only has the thing indicating that he doesn't have
phone in
video.
there. Guys, get a hold of Victor, see what he's doing.
I'm going to try to give him a call right now to see what's going on.
Oh, good
Victor,
deal.
if you can hear us, your mute button may be on. Although it doesn't say it, so, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. There is no microphone saying that he's muted next to his name. So I think it's a bigger issue than being muted.
Evidently, he ain't there.
I'm trying to think of what kind of device.
I mean, he's here. It's just not connecting via audio at all. Don't know what could
So he
possibly
was just, in
happen.
other words, he was just sitting in the waiting room, and that's it. He don't have no way to connect to us.
It says he's a participant, but I have no idea if he can
Well, it
actually
shows
like
his
talk.
name's there, but that,
Yeah.
you know, right. Can it, does he have a phone number?
Yes, Phil's gonna call him.
Okay, all right.
Maybe we should require that people are on video when they appear before us and not just dialing it in.
I do ask them, a couple people they did tell me they did not have video, so I did tell them they could call in because,
Right, sure.
but you know, I do try to help them as best I can.
Yeah, thanks.
I did send Mr. Gordon a direct message just saying that we need to be able to hear him.
Okay, good,
Yes. Otherwise, we can just send him an audio, a file with our verdict.
yeah.
I think in this case, he's going to want to represent himself.
Well,
Yeah, but
he's got to be able to talk to us.
Yes,
Tom's
I know.
recommendation is 30 days. We don't,
Sometimes they can call in on their phone and also be participating, with their tablet. So I don't know that. Phil's gonna
That's
come
our
up.
issue. That's our, the thing is.
Right.
that,
So if we have to, we have to continue it to next time. That's all. No?
We'll make our decision.
Oh, sure. That's fine.
yeah, I think we should hear it in his absence because Tom's recommending 30 days and it's a
Oh, well, there you
heavily
go.
trafficked area that things are falling off the building.
Oh,
so-
that's not good.
No, that's not good at all.
No.
Any response, any response to AIM?
No.
Well. Now he ain't even there.
He's dropped off.
Maybe Phil talked to him and then maybe he's gonna try and do it again. So,
That's a pretty good idea, Deb. Yeah,
yeah, I don't know.
we'll see.
We want to pause the recording?
I would think so.
I can't.
Okay.
Okay.
So Phil would have to pause it when he comes back on.
Okey dokey. Okey dokey.
For the,
You're not on my computer. It says launch meeting, but it won't work. It won't launch. So I'm on my phone, but I have no picture.
Okay, the thing is that we can still continue the meeting, okay? You don't want to see our ugly mugs anyway.
It's always nicer when you can see the other person.
Yeah, it's always nice, but I don't know what's the matter and what you can do to rectify that.
I have
So-
no idea. I've been trying now for over 3/4 of an hour.
Okay, well, let's get started. All right. I'm Wayne Miller, board member.
Amy Rivera, board member.
Ted August, board member.
Matthew Wojcik, L&I supervisor.
Philip Motto, Boards Administration.
Thomas Rybakowski, City of Philadelphia, License and Inspections.
Okay, anybody testifying in this hearing, please raise your right hand. Would it be you, Tom, and Mr. Gordon? You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Please respond.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good deal. Phil, you want to take over and put
Yes.
it into the record?
Yes, sir. This is case number 1, MI 2021-005-382 for 31 North 3rd Street.
Okay, Victor, could you please state your name?
Victor Gordon.
Okay, so we're going to start the hearing now. Tom, can you tell us a little bit about this project?
So this property at 31 North 3rd Street was designated unsafe following an inspection that took place in July of 2021. It was designated unsafe due to conditions of the exterior walls. That was specific to the loosening, falling bricks and tiles from exterior walls. The front or the front of the front wall that frontages 3rd Street would be the area of issue. I'm going to basically reserve the right to respond as I'm going to defer to the appellant as
Okay.
the city did not make the appeal.
Okay, Victor, where do we stand here?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Yeah, where are we standing with the progress of getting this violation fixed?
I'm appealing the violation.
Oh, okay, then Tom, can you tell me what the issue is? Is there things falling off the side of the building?
So what I have is I'm going to share my screen
Please.
with the board. The appellant's reason for the appeal, or that they cite on the appeal form, is several contractors stated that there is nothing falling or dangerous or loose, and most of the statements in the violation are not true.
Okay.
I'm going to share my screen and show you the photographs of the property that were taken at the time of the inspection. And then
When was the inspection, Tom?
the inspection was on or around July 10th of 2021.
2021, okay.
Yes, the inspection took place on July 9th. The notice of violation was sent out by the department on July 12th. But I'll share the screen now.
And Tom, you're saying for 2021, what did it take so
2021.
long for an appeal?
Appeal was filed. The appeal was filed with on December 29th of 2021. I do
Okay.
not know why it was scheduled for now and not sooner, but we're having the hearing today.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Mr. Gordon, do you have an engineer's report that's saying that this is fine?
I have, and I will give you some history. I have a letter in front of me from OSHA, Construction Tech, It's a safety inspection company, and they do a lot of work all over the country, and especially in Philadelphia. OSHA itself is a safety inspection company.
Yeah, but is this
for-
company with the federal government
Okay.
or it's just a separate company?
I believe that OSHA is licensed by the federal government. I believe. I mean, I
OSHA,
may be wrong.
if you're
OSA.
speaking, I'm sorry, Mr. Gordon, but if you're speaking of OSHA, the federal institution, that is for occupational safety, not for buildings. It would have to be that they are inspecting the workers that are on location. They're
But they
assigned the
also-
duty of inspecting occupational safety.
It's a site safety manager, OSHA instructor, construction superintendent. So
Okay.
they are fully qualified. I'm reading.
Okay. I think I know what you're saying. That he probably has an OSHA 10 card or OSHA 30 card that gives him the ability to be on a project. But I don't think he's from OSHA. Okay, he's just a regular worker like any other construction worker on that job.
No.
And in the city of Philadelphia, it says anyone
No, he's
working on a project must have an OSHA card, either a 10, and if
No.
you're a supervisor, you need 30. Okay, so
No,
he's just,
excuse me 1 second, please.
okay,
Let
go
me
ahead.
interject. He is the OSHA instructor. He is not the guy that is just a worker on a job. This is a guy that actually does the safety inspections and everything else.
But is he a registered engineer? It has to
I'm
be,
not
it
sure.
has to be a PE, an engineer, regardless of who they work for, that does the inspection and has to ensure that this is not in violation.
Okay,
So you have to submit, the letter, if that letter is what you were submitting, that should have gone in with, Tom, I believe that's not part of the appeal, right?
no, I only have the appeal paperwork, which is, the appeal paperwork has the application, I'm sharing that on the screen. It has the appeal paperwork where it claims that there were contractors. Several contractors stated that there is nothing falling or dangerous or loose, and most of the statements in this violation are not true. And then it is a photograph of the final notice of violation that was sent on following a secondary inspection that took place on December 15th of 2021. That's the documentation on the appeal. I'll continue to go down.
Tom, can I ask a question?
Yes,
We can only see page 1 of the violation. And does page 2 actually ask for an engineer's report?
I will go to violation.
It does not ask for an engineer's report.
Tell you in a minute.
So I've had
No.
contractors
No, it does not
look at it.
specifically ask for an engineer's report. But
I've had
in order
I've had
for the board, or the board can render the decision that, and like I said, I'm going to continue to share my screen and show the photographs of the property that were taken at the
All right,
time of
let's
the
take a look.
inspection.
Yeah, let's take a look at the property.
If I can get the mouse to move here, there it is. So this is a photograph of the property. It was taken on July 8th of 2021. You can see that the 12 by 12 or whatever tiles that were over the front entryway of this
Them
mixed
black tiles?
the black tiles
Okay.
are dislodged from the property and missing. There is evidence that the mastic or the adhesive is failing and that the black tiles are coming off the front of the property. Also, in another photograph of the property, this is a 4-story masonry structure on the 0 through 100 unit block of North 3rd. that there is material up at the roof line or the fourth story that is open, or at least shows evidence that it's dislodged. And I will also share, there's another photograph of the property.
Hello?
This is
Yeah, we're
another
here. We're here at
photograph
the
of,
property.
this is another photograph of the brickwork that is broken and shows signs of deterioration. And then the property was posted as unsafe following the inspection that took place on July 8th. August 13th, we were out at the property. And then on October 22nd of 2021, you can see that more of those glass tiles or more of those black tiles are missing from the front of the property. Were they taken off the property, or did they continue to fail and land on the sidewalk?
I took them off.
Okay.
Okay.
But not all of them.
No, I didn't. The other ones were on there so tight that I would have had to break them, and I didn't want to break them and have glass fall on the sidewalk.
Okay, so my recommendation to the board is we are concerned with the frontage of this property along North 3rd Street. If the owner provides an engineer's report stating that the frontage of this property is safe, we would comply the violation per that engineer's report. It must be a structural engineer. If not, then a contractor would have to pull a make safe permit for the repair of this property within 30 days. Either an engineer's report or a make safe permit is issued for the repair of the property within 30 days.
All of that seems appropriate and reasonable.
I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Okay, Mr. Gordon, do you have any issue with that?
Absolutely.
Okay, and
Okay.
tell me why. Tell me why.
Okay. First of all, the property has had the pieces, or the condition of the property is the same way it's been since at least 1999. I'm talking about actually
23 years.
it's been okay, and it's been way longer than that. The black stuff was put up in 1998 or 1999, but the rest of the bricks, the frontage, and everything else has been that way. Probably, I'm estimating for at least 60 years, and nothing has fallen off of that. It's just not attractive, but it's been that way for more than 60 years with nothing falling. The black glass was that was put up in approximately 1998 or 1999. I did notice a few pieces were not put up properly. I took them down, and if your pictures show accurately, there are two heavy strands of wire that run in front of the glass to make sure that if they ever come loose, they cannot fall because they're sitting in a channel. So the wires will certainly keep them in place. Now, if the city would like, I'll take down those few pieces of black glass or whatever they are. That stuff was put up with the approval of the city, and it immediately started failing.
Okay.
I didn't. I'm talking about the few pieces that I took down. Okay, but so nothing is falling. Now, here's a letter from the OSHA safety and manner and instructor, construction superintendent. Also, this is all
Mr.
his
Gordon,
credentials.
with all due respect, we need to have an inspection and a report from a structural engineer If they report that there's no issue,
Fine.
as Mr. Rabakowski said, the violation will go away.
Can we
We need
caucus?
that. We need that. We don't care about the history. At this point, the building is significantly neglected. It needs to have that happen. And we're not going to back away from that. So you can keep talking if you want to, but what we're asking for is what we're going to require.
What?
End of story.
Well, it's not the end of the story. Don't I have a violation for the sprinkling system on that report?
The thing is that we
What?
make a decision on what we think, and I'm gonna tell you, this board.
No.
And
Let me
I'm
fin-
speaking,
let-
I'm speaking for the
let me
rest of our board. Hold on, Mr. Gordon, is that we're not gonna have anything fall down on our watch. You took those black panels down for a reason. They were loose, and that doesn't say the integrity of the other ones are that good. If you get an engineer's report and come back and they say it's good, then fine. If you don't, you can pull a permit and in 30 days have that taken care of. One or the other, it's up to you, but that's our ruling from here.
Can I finish, please?
You may finish, but it ain't gonna change anything. Go ahead.
Okay. In the report, I have a violation for sprinkling system, correct?
We're not dealing with that now. We're dealing with the building on the outside that has.
Well, wait.
damage.
Tom, is there a violation for the sprinkler system in the same report? Again, we didn't see the whole
I didn't see
report.
that.
The appeal that was filed was for the unsafe condition of the property, for the unsafe exterior wall. There
Okay.
is a
No,
active,
that's not true. It also included in that appeal the fact that that building doesn't even have a sprinkling system. So I have a
All right.
violation for something that doesn't exist.
you have
That was in my appeal.
you have a violation on the property, which is a different case number. The case number that was associated with the appeal that was filed was the unsafe case, and that's what the notice of violation that was
That's what we're
attached
dealing with.
to your appeal. Now, if you're appealing the other case, that would have to be a separate appeal. But there is a code enforcement case citing the property as a vacant commercial structure.
Yeah, our issue today is the issue of the outside of the building, nothing inside. That's another completely different thing. Let's take care of one thing at a time. And what's brought to our attention is the outside of the building. You need an engineer's report saying that everything's fine, that violation goes away. If not,
So
you have 30,
as of
if
now-
not, hold on, listen. If not, you have 30 days to get a permit and start work and continue that work until it's finished. You have 30
I have a-
days for an engineering report.
Can I
End of
finish?
story.
Okay. You're not
Okay.
going to allow me to speak? You're not going to allow me to speak?
I'll allow you to speak on the outside of the building. I don't know what's inside the building. That's not at this hearing. Do you have something to
Okay.
say on the outside of the building?
Okay. So, in other words, you consider the black glass or whatever it is to be unsafe. I will
We
take down those.
consider the violations that you received unsafe, yes.
I will take down the few pieces of black glass or whatever it is, and therefore there's no black glass to fall, even though there's
No, that's not
wire.
the only issue there. There's places up at the top of the third or fourth
Wait,
floor.
can we please caucus? Can we caucus?
Well, hang on, Amy, just one clarification. Mr. Gordon, you can't simply take those down. You would need to submit a make safe permit application. You would be granted an application and the work would need to be done by a contractor who is certified by the city. That's the process.
I have a
It's not
question.
Question.
I have a question. Was
Go ahead.
a permit taken? Was a permit taken to put those black glass up?
Irrelevant.
Is it?
It's exactly what he said, irrelevant. We're worried about the danger that building's in now and the procedure you have to follow. Okay, so we're gonna, you want to caucus, Amy?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna put you in the waiting room, Mr. Gordon, and we'll come back to you.
Don't hang up, Mr. Gordon. Just
Don't
wait
hang
for us
up.
to come back.
Okay,
The recording has started again. We're back on the record.
Victor, are you there? I think you're on mute. Victor. You're on mute. Somebody call him.
Phil, are you able to unmute him?
I've asked him to unmute, but he has not done so yet.
But are you able to, as you're the Zoom keeper, if you will?
The zookeeper or zookeeper?
No, I believe my only option is to offer them the option to unmute.
Oh,
Victor. Unmute, mister.
all right, well, he can hear us. Why don't we just give our.
Okay, Victor, evidently you can hear us. Here's the deal. You have, if you get an engineer report and he says that's fine, then the violation will go away. But until then, if you don't get an engineer's report, you have 30 days to pull a permit and start work to make safe. And if that's not, if you don't like either one of those, you can take it to the court of common pleas. So that's our decision. We can't get you off of mute, but I'm sure you can hear me. If there's any questions, take yourself off of mute and talk to us. Otherwise, the hearing's over and that's our decision.
Mr. Gordon, there's also an option that this company that you had go out there has an association with an engineer that would be willing to stamp that report that they gave you. That could be looked into.
Yep.
Okay. End the hearing. Thank you.
Recording is started. You're on the record. Mr. Gordon?
Mr. Gordon. Mr. Gordon, you there?
No microphone again.
Okay.
Move
All
on.
right, stop recording.
All right,
Okay.
stop recording.
The recording is started again. This is case number 2, MI 2022006037 for 1200 Ellsworth Street. Meredith
Okay.
Bergler is the appellant.
Okay, I'm Wayne Miller, board member.
Amy Rivera, board member.
Ed Agus, board member.
John Dimes, Fire Code.
I'm Matthew Wojcik, L&I supervisor.
Phil Motto, Boards Administration.
Okay, anybody going to testify in the case, please raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Please respond.
I do.
Lee, you're muted.
I do.
Okay, you read the case into the record. Please state your names, please.
Sure. My name is Meredith Ferliger, Ferleger, attorney with Dilworth Paxson. And I am here with my client, property owner Lee Berman, as well as Scott Woodruff, who is our architect with Design Blends.
Okay, so you guys are who you say you are. Okay, thank you. All right, whoever's going to do the case, present it, go ahead.
Thank you very much. I will start with some introduction and then I'm going to turn it over to Scott just to kind of walk you through the plans here. But just by way of some background for you and to orient you to this property at 1200 Ellsworth, my client Lee purchased this property just under a year ago, January 4th, 2022. And while Lee was undertaking due diligence, it was discovered that this property had some unusual permitting, which is not all that uncommon in the city. And so let me walk you through what the issue was and how we've been working to fix it over the last year. So the property is at 12th and Ellsworth Street. You can see here it's a 3-story brick structure. There are 3 residential dwelling units in this property. The 2 upper units are accessed by this front door here. And then the ground floor unit is accessed by this door off of 12th Street. Just to give you a sense of the interior, again, nothing of particular note here. This is just an image of one of the upper units. And then this is a view of that first floor downstairs unit. There is also a basement in this structure, which we will discuss. This egress well is one of the issues in front of the board today. The basement is just used for general storage. and it currently has an egress point from this Bilco door system, and we will discuss what's going to be done about that. So the timeline that we understand for this property is that it was built sometime in the early 1900s. At least as early as the 40s, it was used as 2 dwellings with a ground floor commercial space. We went to the zoning board to seek variance approval for that 3rd residential unit because the property was zoned single family. And during our research for the zoning board, I was able to determine that it looks like back as far as 2007 was when the commercial space was seemingly still in place. And by 2009 is when you can see that that had been essentially closed off and had been converted to a residential unit. You know, just doing some research into the history, there's some really unusual history with this property. We believe had something to do with the Vince Fumo era. We're not entirely sure what happened here, how it was converted, when it was converted. It seems that it was converted without permits whenever that was done. So, you know, Lee has been really looking to try and fix this problem. And the 2 issues that are in front of the board today, one has to do with the residential sprinklers. The other has to do with that egress well. Now, before I turn it over to Scott to give you a little bit more detail on those issues, the egress well, Lee is fully intending to comply with whatever requirements need to be put in place to make that a compliant egress well. So that's not an issue, but he is going to be asking this board for a variance not to install the sprinkler system. The board probably often hears that, you know, it's cost prohibitive to do so. But in this case, this property actually has some physical limitations that would make installing that system extremely difficult and really quite burdensome for these living spaces. So Scott, I can stop sharing if you want to share the plans and just kind of walk them through the specific technical issues.
Sure. Yeah, not a problem. Okay, so here's the property. Again, this is a corner property, fronting on Ellsworth, and 12th Street is the street that this is fronting on. Going through the plans, this is the basement and first floor as it exists today. As you can see, the basement from the photos as well is just an unfinished basement. That egress Bilco door is located in the rear here, which again, we can easily comply with. The well is there. We can make a access way that is safe for someone to escape if they are in this basement doing laundry or what have you. Looking at the first floor, the main entry for the 2 units is at the front of the property. You go down a corridor, up the stairs to the units. This is the primary entry for the bottom unit. The 2 bedroom, which are located in the front, each have compliant windows out to egress, and 1 bathroom in the rear here. There's a 1-story addition that houses the bathroom and the kitchen out the back. And then going up, this is the 2nd floor, unit 2. You come up to a landing. The entry door for the 3rd unit is on that 3rd floor. And then you kind of traverse the stairs up to that 3rd unit. So all the entry doors really are on that 2nd floor for the units. 1 bedroom, 1 bath on this unit here. Again, each one has windows that are compliant for egress. Kitchen, bathroom in the back. Similar here, this is just a 2-bedroom unit on the top floor. Again, compliant windows. Now, when Meredith kind of talks about some of the physical limitations for the sprinkler system, mainly talking about just ceiling heights in general for the property. Obviously, installing a sprinkler system in an already finished space is obviously an issue. It's never a clean thing to do and figure out how those risers go in and then get heads into every room. The ceiling height on that top floor, on that third unit, is just about 6'10". So having anything really cut through, even if we did sprinkler heads that kind of went below this structure, which is probably the easiest way to do it. And even if we put them up in the ceiling, you know, we'd have to try and do some sort of concealed head system to get that up there. You know, again, the thing that we worry about too is just making sure that those things don't get bumped and we create a whole nother issue of water in like a low ceiling condition itself. So this is really the troublesome floor as we start to go up. Second floor is at 8. This first floor is kind of stepped at different levels between 8, 6, and 9. And then you can see the unfinished basement down here is, you know, barely 6, 8 in the bottom. That's okay since it's really just storage at that point. Meredith, do you want me to go through anything else about specific building conditions, materials, any of that kind of stuff?
If you can just touch on, you know, some of the options that we would propose as far as that egress well.
Sure. Yeah, so you kind of look at the picture, you know, the well itself is compliant and is large enough for a 3x3 space. What we'd be doing is kind of removing that Bilco and making sure that that can be operable from the inside so that in an event of emergency, there's no locking mechanism on that outside, completely be operable, as well as installing, you know, a standard ladder that's mounted to the wall. So someone could actually exit out of that space. Currently, there's just kind of like a ladder that's sitting up there, if you can see. So we'll get something that's actually bolted to the wall and someone can traverse up to that space.
And I guess the only other important factor is you believe that the party wall, if it is even truly a party wall at this point in time, is likely brick, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, so that wall is, you know, a typical 8-inch brick party wall, which is very consistent with when these were built at the time. Obviously, a brick bearing exterior wall as well that is supporting the structure.
Is it currently occupied?
Lee, how many tenants do you currently have in there?
It is currently occupied. I think it's 5 total tenants over the 3 units.
Yeah, I mean, there's no history of a rental license at all. There's no current rental licenses. Is that part of the CO?
It is. So L&I changed their requirements for rental licenses in the last couple years. It used to be that when we went to fix permitting, once we got a zoning permit, we could then get a rental license. But they changed that requirement in the last couple years. So we now need a CO before they'll issue a rental license. So, you know, again, the zoning board's been on an insane delay. It's taken us a while to even get to the point that we could bring this to this board and keep moving it along.
Okay, but even,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
so even the previous owner never had a rental license? Did that flag you at all?
So we, it was a requirement that we went through zoning to get a rental license prior to settlement. I am not knowledgeable in this world, so I don't know what happens. We got the approval for 3 units in zoning. I did not know anything else would have came up of it. You know, I thought it was just paperwork and you get a CO if it's safe. Otherwise, I would have made it a requirement prior to settlement.
Okay. I'm ready to caucus if anybody, if you guys don't have more questions.
Yeah, the only other question is, are there, how many meters are there in there and, you know,
Utility meters?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the electric or whatever.
3.
Okay,
They're all the units are separately metered.
yeah. And
For
there's-
gas and electric.
For gas and electric?
Yes.
Yeah, photos of that too, if you don't, Meredith.
And it's
Yeah,
small enough,
it's-
probably not a house meter, you know.
Scott, if you, we do have photos of that, Scott, if you want to bring them up.
Yeah, can we see those, please?
Sure.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Meredith, I think it was in that photo that I gave you where the gas meters were in the basement. I think it was all in the.
Yeah, I think Scott was going to bring it up.
Yeah.
So there you can see electrical. This is in that back by that egress well that was kind of going up. That's the electric. A better picture of it there. And then-
There were 4 meters at one point.
Or, yeah, one for
Yeah,
the house, one for each individual place, that would that usually do?
Yeah, that probably went away in 2009 or whenever they did everything else.
find the-
Was the addition, do you know if the addition was built back in 2008, 2009 when they converted this, the one-story piece?
I don't think that changed based on Google.
All right. So
Don't
that may have been a
officially, yes,
prior
because I
owner
didn't-
that illegally did that as opposed to that owner.
Yeah. That 1-story addition, I'm not even sure what that is.
That's
Uh,
bathroom and kitchen.
the first one.
And the gas meters were in the, where the washer and dryer were, Meredith, in your first presentation.
Yeah, I don't
If,
have that photo, but I.
yeah,
Yeah, don't worry. It's,
Okay, what a caucus can?
Yeah.
Bill, can you put him in the waiting room, please?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're not gonna have to put the sprinkler system, okay, you're not gonna have to put the sprinkler system in because of the work that was done illegal was prior to you guys and you were caught and left holding a bag. You know, we have a policy that if they can prove that there was other, three tenants in there before we give you the variance. But one thing that we want to ask for in this process is that if you can get the alarm system certified, do you have that certified? That's what we need you to do, and if you can turn that in to, who would that go to, the plan examiner?
That makes sense.
Okay, if you could do
you
that.
couldn't even find any evidence of it being put in with a permit, so.
Yeah, yeah, we
At
need
least
to see
That's
that.
no problem.
Ask for it.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
All
no
right.
problem at all.
okay, good luck,
Thank you
all right?
very much.
What about the door? What about the door? That's the egress door.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sorry, we missed that.
Yeah, I
We'll
mean,
just
so we're,
submit to LNI and show something that LNI accepts. The plan examiner, I guess. would.
We're gonna submit some details on our drawings to make sure that gets constructed correctly.
Yeah, and then, like I said, you're gonna take that ladder away, you're gonna put a permanent ladder in, right? Okay,
Correct.
so,
Yep.
and then if they approve it, everything's good. Okay?
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a wonderful
Good
day.
luck, guys. Good
Okay.
luck.
Bye.
Okey-dokey.
And real quick, guys, to let you know, it looks like this is gonna be a long one today. I can hang in there through the whole thing, but I'm gonna have to be mobile on a part of it. I gotta take my kid down to Penn Charter. So,
We got a soccer game?
nah, she's 11 years old and she's a lacrosse player. She just picked up a
Oh, cool.
lacrosse stick, and then, like, I don't know if I told you, she worked out with the number 5 club in the country, and now they won her. And like, she's like a chip off the old block, Wayne. You know how it is.
She's like the wife, right?
What's that?
She's like the wife.
Yeah, nah, dude, I had all the athletic ability. Come on,
I don't
guys.
know about that, Dimes.
I'll bring pictures to the next meeting in person.
All right, bring pictures. Bring pictures.
I will.
And there better be three water meters.
Yeah.
So, but like, yeah, but 3:30, like I said, I'm gonna start going mobile, but I'll be available. I mean, the whole time.
Yeah, we've got 4 more, and I don't know if there's, the last one, I believe, John, is, 17.
Start the recording. Yes. I'm Wayne Miller, board member.
Amy Rivera, board member.
Ted August, board member.
John Dimes, Fire Code.
I'm Matthew Wojcik, L&I supervisor.
You're muted.
Phil Motto, Boards Administration.
Okay, being you're testifying in the case, can you please raise your right hand, swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? Please respond.
Me?
Yep,
Yes.
you. No, it's me, don't worry about it.
Yes, I swear to tell the truth.
Phil, put it into the record. She's gonna tell the truth.
This is case number 4, MI 2022-006039 for 4460 North 19th Street. The appellant is Candace Korber. Ms. Korber, could you please spell your last name for the record?
Koerber.
Okay, you wanna tell us your story?
So I had put in to basically have the building changed back to a 3-unit. It was originally zoned a 3-unit back in 1955. At that point, it was later on changed into a 2-unit with a doctor's office. And then I guess when they got rid of the doctor's office, they were just like, we'll just leave it as a 2-family. But the building, in terms of like the structure and how it was laid out, it never was changed from a 3-unit. So in me purchasing the building recently, the guy who had it, he basically was using it under like a federal program. So he was like, he didn't care what the zoning was. But, you know, when I purchased the building from him, I figured that I would have it, you know, legalized. I went through the regular process and had the zoning changed, but then, you know, I hit this hiccup where they're telling me that I needed to have a fire suppression system installed, but that would require major renovations. So, you know, I basically was looking for a variance for that purpose. They already have like a, you know, like a fire system in the building that I've certified last year. And, you know, that's like my plight is with the fire suppression system.
How long have you owned the building?
A little over, probably about a year, a little over a year.
Okay, so you bought it that way? You bought
Yes.
it, okay. Mhm.
Sorry, with the prior owner that you bought it from, you said they didn't sort of care about the zoning, but had they already converted it to an apartment?
It already was an apartment. From it didn't look like anything really had changed, and that was what he had said also. He's like, the building was always laid out as a 3-unit. It's just, oh, maybe they used the second floor as a doctor's office, but nothing physically changed with the structure of how the building was laid out. They just would label it different things. And then when they got rid of the doctor's office, they just, you know, said, well, now we don't have a doctor's office. And, you know, when I initially went to pull to get my renter's license, I saw that it said 2 units. And I'm like, this isn't 2 units, you know, so I had my, you know, went through my attorney and had him, you know, basically get the zoning changed back to what it was. But then, you know, when I went to get the use and occupancy for it to be updated to 3 units, this is where the fire suppression thing had come up.
And did you put the alarm system in?
No, it was already there.
You want to caucus?
Yeah.
Okay. Could you put Candace in the waiting room, please? Do you have any pictures? Candace, do you have any pictures of your first floor?
I believe I do.
Do you have them on the
Also-
computer you're using and you can share them with us?
I could probably send them to myself
Okay.
if I find them. Yeah, I would have to really look. Apparently, I do not.
Well, what does it look like? Is it older or?
So basically like the outside needed some painting. We had done some painting and things to the building here. Like for instance, this is, I could just hold it up. This is like now the side of the building, like we painted the side bottom. Just little things, but we didn't touch this piece of it, but like, you know, it's a corner property, which makes it just, you know, very difficult in general. The front we had painted like the outside bottom piece and stuff like that.
What, do you know where the doctor's office was when there was one?
I don't. I actually don't.
Like, does the basement look like it was ever finished?
No, the basement's not finished.
Okay.
What, that door going down from the front?
Is that's the basement.
basement?
Yeah, that's the basement, but it's not in use. Like it's still a 3-story building, so it literally is an apartment on each floor.
Right.
So, and the basement that's in the front is, you know, it's, you know, it's the basement. It's like, we don't even, you know, we don't use it for anything.
And the top floor is a smaller footprint with just one.
Right, it's a
bedroom.
1-bedroom. This is actually like the hallway. Like we just painted it. Like it's, you know, it's pretty standard.
Okay, Wayne.
All right, we're gonna give you the variance on the thing because you bought the building and it was already established. So you're gonna, you got your variance.
Yay. Thank you, guys.
All right, Candace.
Good luck.
All
Good
right,
luck.
thanks. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello.
Okay, is everybody in that's supposed to be in? How many people do we have with your group?
I'm expecting 2 others. I think we were told we would be going closer to 4 o'clock. I can text them right now to see if they can join right
Sure.
away.
Okay.
1 minute, please.
All right, no problem.
Oh, Jace wrote this refusal too.
He's a busy bee, that Jason. Okay, all right. Okay, I'm Wayne Miller, board member.
Amy Rivera, board member.
Ted Agus, board member.
John Dimes, Fire Code.
Matthew Wojcik, LNI supervisor.
Phil Motto, Boards Administration.
Okay, anybody going to testify in the case, please raise your right hand. Swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Please respond.
I do.
I do. Okay, all right. Phil, put it into the record.
This is case number 3 on today's list. MI 2022 006 040 for 251 North 12th Street. Our appellant was Brian Phillips.
Okay, could you please state your names?
Yeah, my name is Alex Gaza. I'm representing ISA in place of Brian Phillips.
Okay,
Nino Cutrofello. I'm with the owner of the property, Callahan Ward 12th Street LLC.
okay, the next gentleman. He's in mute.
Marcus, you there?
I think he's frozen. Oh,
Hey, there he
Oh,
is.
could you state your name?
Marcus.
I think his sound might be off. Let me, can you hear us, Marcus?
I can, I'm sorry.
Can you say, you need to say your name for the record.
I'm sorry, Marcus Tokanita.
Okay, fine. Whoever's gonna present the case, go ahead.
Okay, and I'm allowed to share my screen?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So this is a newly existing building located at 251 North 12th Street at the intersection of 12th and Vine. The site is 11 feet wide by 93 feet long. These are just a couple of images of the existing building overlooking Vine Street, just to give you a little bit of context. When this project was first permitted, it was permitted as an R2 building under the 2009 code with a single stair. It's a 4-story structure with a single stair. The reason for the appeal is a request to convert the R2 multifamily units to an R1 hotel use. And without modifying the egress path for the units as they currently exist. The site is extremely constrained, as you can see from these images. And so the request is simply for the conversion, and that is to kind of obtain to obtain the license for rentals. So I just thought, then looking at the units, the way that this building is arranged currently, there is one unit in the basement, and that has a direct exit up to the street from the unit. Both units at the ground floor also exit directly to the street. And then there is a stair that serves 4 units on levels 2 through 4. The units on 3 and 4 are bi-levels, each one on flanking either side of the stair. So they both access the stair from the 3rd floor. The path of travel is quite clear. The doors to the units, you can see here in this plan, enter directly into the rated stair, and the stair exits directly at the street. The overall occupancy load for the units that use the stair is only 17, and travel distance, as was required under the 2009 code, never exceeds 50 feet in any of these units that use the central stair. The building is fully sprinklered to NFPA 13R, and there is a standpipe that runs in the shared stair. The stair, as you can kind of see in the section, is quite open. There's a visual connection through the stair all the way down to the ground. I'm just going to flip back to these images since we have them, but you can see here how the doors enter right into the stair core, and then you can look all the way through, all the way down to where you exit as well. So that's kind of the presentation for this issue.
In 2009, would an R1 require 2 stairs?
In 2009 code, an R1 building would require 2 stairs above, like 2nd floor and up. That's correct.
And the 2 basement units have an egress well, correct?
Yeah, it's a single unit that occupies the whole length of the basement, and there is kind of an egress terrace that's sunken that makes up the majority of the outdoor space, and then there's also an additional egress well from the bedroom, and the stair through the middle. It's a private stair just for that unit that enters from the street. That unit under the 2009 and the 18 code would be permitted to be converted in its current configuration. I understand it.
Yeah, what triggered the decision to change the use? to the hotel use. And when you say hotel use, are these, short stay, extended stay? What's the?
Short stay. So I think part of the reason for this request is the bill that was passed that was requiring all short stay properties that are not owner occupied to be converted to have an R1 designation in order to get the rental licensing that's required in order to advertise and run these as a short-term stay unit. And, I don't know if you want to say anything further to that.
No, I think that's right. The building, you're probably familiar with the site, but the building's about 2 blocks from the convention center, so it feels, and it's not really surrounded by much other residential, so it sort of feels suited to that use. And I think Alex is right. The new legislation prompted this change in use.
But it had been used as, annual rentals up until sort of at what point did the change happen?
Well, we're going through that now. So this, pending today's outcome, we'll see what the future of the building is.
Gotcha.
Which is what a caucus said, Amy?
Yeah,
Okay, could you put the people in the waiting room, please? Okay, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do to allow you to put one stairways for all the things that you want to do. Because again, you're moving up to a higher hazard and there's nothing you're doing to upgrade or anything else to make that even or thinking to be about being legal. And the only other places you could do is I don't know where you could put another egress, another stair down to the ground. But again, we don't want to be setting a precedent that we're allowing this. So we gotta stay the way we be consistent with other buildings that of like this, and we're gonna have to deny the variance.
Yeah, you can appeal to the Court of Common Pleas. That's
Yes.
one thing to be aware.
They can appeal to the Court of Common Pleas, and they can overrule us if that's the case.
Wayne, one question is just, are there any,
No, there was a dog barking. I didn't.
oh, are there any, like additional things that could be done to make the building safer that would make you consider otherwise? Other than adding another stair?
Adding another stair, that's the only thing would make us feel comfortable.
fire department has always been very adamant about when 2 stairs are required, there needs to be 2 stairs, and we feel that way also.
And
We asked the question of whether in, with the old code, whether R1 would have required 2 exits, back then, and it would have in 2009 code. So.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that's a decision we have to make, but again, you have the ability to go to the Court of Common Pleas and they could possibly, you can plead your case there.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you all for your time.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thanks you for
All
your
right,
time.
guys.
Appreciate it.
Talk to you guys later. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you. Bye.
No
worries.
Okay, let's get started. I'm Wayne Miller, board member.
Amy Rivera, board member.
Ted
Hi,
Ogden's
Amy.
board member.
John Dimes, Fire Code.
Matthew Wojcik, licenses and inspection supervisor.
Phil Motto, Boards Administration.
Okay, you'll be testifying in the case. Please raise your right hand. Swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes, I do.
Okay, Phil, you want to put it into the record?
This is case number 5 on today's list, MI 2022-006-038 for 2350 North 29th Street. The appellant is Altrina Nixon. Ms. Nixon, can you state your name and spell your last name, please?
Sure. My name is Altrina Nixon. My last name is spelled Nixon.
Okay, Ms. Nixon, you want to present the case?
Yes, I do. So firstly, thank you for agreeing to meet with me. And I am here on behalf of the buildings that I own on 29th and York. On my building permit, it requested me to put in the sprinklers. And we was trying to prevent the sprinklers for a few reasons. And I'll just list them. I brought out a few of the sprinkler companies, and they said that it was overkill, but it was the code that you guys had stated, but said that I could put an amendment to my building permit. And that's the reason why I'm doing this actually on their request, because they said it was just too much for what I was trying to do here. Secondly, for me to put in a fire suppression system, if I'm understanding this correctly, the water line is on the other side of the street from my property. So I will have to shut down 29th Street. And I don't know how to go about doing that. And they told me it was gonna cost me about $40,000. So
How much?
I added 40, because I have 3 buildings. So I don't know what to do. I'll put them in if I have to. If there's some kind of, I just have no idea what to do. I would rather not, because it's a lot of money. I don't know how to shut down 29th Street because the 48 and the 29 passes here. And I only added 2 bedrooms to each building. I didn't add a lot. I'm not even over 2,000 square feet. So this is where I am. Any kind of direction you can give me would be great. I know we put in the fire alarm systems for the visually impaired and the hearing impaired. And I actually went down to the fire station on 26th and York, because they're only 3 blocks away. And I asked them what their response time was. He said it was under a minute. And I asked for any different types of fire suppression systems that wouldn't require having to shut down the street. And, because that just seems like overkill. And he gave me a suggestion of a dry stack installation. I'm not really sure. I tried to.
He was talking about a dry standpipe. Did he say dry
Yes.
standpipe? Yeah,
Yes.
they don't do them they converted all the dry standpipes years ago.
Oh,
So,
okay.
they're wet standpipes now. And but anyway, the thing is that I don't know what the cost of the feeds coming in the building, but $40,000 seems awful excessive to me.
Yes, I thought so too.
A lot.
Yes.
And the thing is I don't know what size feed you would need, but the thing is that that's really excessive. But and the 4 sprinkler companies told you that you didn't need is overkill.
Yeah, because I wouldn't have needed them at all if I hadn't put on the extension on the back. I added a bathroom, and I added in one building, I added a bedroom in the other ones. And he said if I didn't add the extra square footage, it wouldn't have been necessary. So I was asking for this amendment because he said, I don't know, I'm speaking, can you get myself together?
We don't have an amendment to amend the code to change that to say that you don't have to put sprinklers in. So that's an issue for us to be able to do that and say you don't have to sprinkle the buildings. So I don't know if anybody else has anything, but if we deny the variance, you can always go to the Court of Common Pleas, and you can plead your case to them. But for us to change that code would be pretty tough, in my opinion. But we have other board members. Do you feel similar or?
Well, I feel bedrooms have been added, and you've increased the number of people sleeping there, and I think the sprinkler system is important. It was required anyway. We never would have relieved you of it.
Yeah, I mean, as I understand it, and Matt can kind of concur with this, that the requirement, sprinklers, are required, and there's not a misinterpretation of the code. It's clearly.
No, but I think if I read the code correctly, it said if it was also cost prohibitive. And it's only 2 bedrooms. It's only 2 apartments. It's not a high rise complex. It's not a high apartment complex. It's literally
Oh,
2 floors. It's the 11th room. It's the first one, the second floor. And if we hadn't added the back, they already told me that I probably wouldn't win. I hope I can still win, but if not, is there any grants or something that the city gives to support the amount of money we have to spend on these sprinkler systems? Because I don't have $40,000 and I'm just one person. I'm not a corporation. I just have 3 buildings and I just have 2 apartments on each. So, and they're all different units. I have no problem doing any of the things that need to be done. I don't want to have $40,000 for this. And 2, I don't know what it takes to shut down the 29th Street because I would have to reroute SEPTA.
That would be done by the water department. They do that.
Oh.
They take care of all that stuff.
Yeah.
But
Unfortunately,
the
they
thing
do
is
it every day.
Did they tell you what
Okay.
size feed you'd have to bring in, the sprinkler companies?
He said 1.5, I think.
1.5, yeah. 1.5 or 2 inch probably coming
Yes.
into the building. Yeah.
That's what he said.
I can't see $40,000. That's that's me. I think, to bring in a 4 inch is only 17,000. So I don't know why that would be that much more expensive. I don't know what you have to do. Is there trolley tracks or something there that you have to go underneath or?
Yeah, they got to break up the ground because I'm on one side of 29th Street. It'd be easy if the water line was on my side, but it's not. It's all the way on the other side of the street.
Yeah.
So they have to dig up the entire 29th Street, not just a small portion. They have to go across the street in order to tie into the water lane line to get to my building.
I don't know what that would be, but I just know that the feeds coming in would nowhere be near that number. So,
But I'm thinking
again,
because of having to shut down the street, I don't know. But I'm thinking
they,
because I have.
they shut streets down every day, and and I might not be as bad as 29th Street, but that's not even that's like
not
a
the hard
half
part.
day's worth of work.
Yeah, I had a project on 6th Street where same thing, having to bring the line across and the bus route, coming down every 5 minutes, and they make it work. It's disruptive, but it's.
Yeah, but 6th Street is only one way down. 6th Street is only a one way. This is two lanes.
Okay,
See-
I'm, yeah. But in terms of something you said, in terms of the.
The sprinkler contractor doesn't do the tap in the street. The water department does a tap in the street and brings it up to your curb. Okay, they bring that up there. The sprinkler contractor has nothing to do with that. He
Okay.
just pulls the permit and then, but they do that. I would call myself, I would call the water department and explain your situation and see what they have to say if you can, but in this, for instance, we have to deny the variance.
And just one thing to clarify, I don't know, the code doesn't allow for exceptions because of, financial hardship. I mean, we're not even as a board, we can't even take that into consideration as a
We're not
reason
even
for a
mentioning
variance.
I thought I saw that somewhere. That's why I mentioned it. Because I looked for the reasons on phila.gov, the reason that you can submit a permit, an amendment, and one of them was cost for inhibition.
Yeah.
Let me go pull it up because I saw that. Yeah, that's on your site. That's where I got
I'm not aware of that, but the other thing that you can do is, who's your council person?
Darryl Clark.
Go to Darryl. Maybe
Okay.
he has a place he's the boss. He's the president. He might be able to work something out, like a grant or something. Go to Darryl's
Yeah.
office.
Because I can't afford $40,000.
Yeah, he's Darryl's, he's a fair guy. He is. And but if he can help you in any way, I'm sure he would help you. And the
So-
thing is, find out what the cost is first.
I did.
Okay, from the water department.
Oh,
That
from
was
the
for
water
sprinkler
department.
Contractor telling you that. That sprinkler contract, don't pay attention to that. Go to the
Okay.
water department, okay?
So okay, no problem.
Pull the water department up. And they'll
I will
tell
do
you
that.
exactly what it will cost.
Okay, appreciate
Okay?
that.
All right, you're welcome. Okay,
Thank you.
all right.
Good luck.
Bye.
All right.
Oh. Hey, Jim, can you hear us?
Slide over that way. There you go, Jim.
It says he's connecting to audio, so.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. We couldn't see him. We didn't see the back of his head.
Hey, guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yep.
Okay, great. Sorry, I don't know how long you were popped up there. I didn't see
Are
you.
you the only one, Jim?
I'm with Guy Ginhart.
Okay, guys, there you go. All right.
Okay.
All right, we'll get started. Is recording in progress?
Okay,
Yes,
great.
sir.
You want me to
It's
start?
recording. Go.
Okay.
Oh, it's recording? Okay, Phil, thanks. I'm Wayne Miller, board member.
Amy Rivera, board member.
Ted August, board member.
John Dimes, Fire Code.
I'm Matthew Wojcik, LNI supervisor.
Phil Motto, Boards Administration.
Okay, anybody, you guys testifying in the case, please raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Respond.
I do.
Okay, Phil, put it into the record.
This is case number 6 on today's list, MI 2022-006-183 for 1701 Walnut Street.
Okay. Could you state your names, please?
James Pearlstein with Pearl Properties. Guy Ginhart, Pearl Properties.
Okay, whoever's going to present the case, go ahead.
Great. Okay. Well, first of all, thank you guys all very much for seeing us so quickly. I know we just reached out to you within the last 2 weeks. So, and Matt, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. This is a building. I sent over a couple photos just to make sure you knew the building. It's 1701 Walnut Street. It's a historic building on Walnut on the corner of 17th and Walnut. It's called the Allman Building. We at Pearl Properties purchased this almost 2 decades ago. Hard to believe we're buying stuff 2 decades ago, but we did. So it's a commercial building. It's a really small building. It's 24 feet wide. It's a really beautiful historic building. We have one user on every floor. It's primarily a commercial building with retail on the first level, and then miscellaneous kind of creative uses, one user per floor for 7 floors in the building. There is one means of egress in the back, the stair tower, which Matt points out in his refusal, and that's why we're here today. So, we've operated this building for the last 15 years. We have a full-time not 24/7, but full-time staff at the building in the lobby. Because it's commercial uses, it's primarily like an 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. use throughout the building. It's a fully sprinkler building. It's non-combustible construction. It's really small floors. They're like 2,850 square feet usable on each floor. That's why we're here. So obviously the refusal speaks for itself.
What was the space prior to it turning into a yoga studio?
This was a jeweler where he would have events for his jewelry, and it was appointment only type of a jeweler.
So it was a business occupancy, and it's still a business occupancy.
Same occupancy, yeah. And the occupancy throughout our ownership over the last 15, 20 years has been the same. There's some law offices, there's a salon, creative type of uses, some smaller high-tech uses, but very, very similar uses throughout, and not a lot of turnover over 20 years.
Ted, you're on mute.
I'm on mute. I'm sorry.
No, Ted's on mute and he's talking.
Ted, you're on mute.
I just clicked it, but that's.
Unmute yourself. I got you.
Sorry. Have you had any refusals on previous tenant turnout, changes in the past?
No, Ted, we haven't. This is the first one. Yeah. And through our ownership, I'd say each space is turned around once, at least once, with significant interior work that's gone on that needed permits. So we were surprised to see this, but we got it.
All right, so we'll grant the variance as long as you have a total. What's the total? 41 people?
It's 23 people in the studio, but like 41 people total for the entire floor.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Are they willing to post it for that?
We wanted to post it though, Wayne?
Yeah, can you post that, Jim?
For a lawful occupancy of 49.
Of 49? Okay.
I think we can do that. And Matt, I believe that was in the their plans that they submitted representing that.
Yeah. Yeah. It was,
So you
yeah, it had the
approached that for
occupied load in there already.
49.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, you got your variance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good
Guys,
luck.
thanks again. I
That was-
really appreciate it.
No
That
problem.
was George, and my first office was in there in
You know,
1983.
That's
And
what made Ted, you know, the
Fourth-
spaces
fourth
look just like
floor,
the office you're sitting
The
in.
front room, $275 a month.
That was
They're
before.
gonna
that
name
was-
that building after you.